Good day. I'm here with Dr. Lyle White, GIBS faculty and Director of the Centre for Dynamic Markets at GIBS, talking about the Business of Africa program. Welcome, Lyle.
Hi, Tanya.
Lyle, this is the fourth year that the Business of Africa program will be running. You kick off in June in Johannesburg, followed by a trip to Kenya and then Nigeria. Why would someone want to attend the Business of Africa program?
Well, anybody that is looking at the how to do business instead of just simply the why would come on a program like this. We look at really the nitty-gritty of doing business, and as you mentioned, we start off with Johannesburg, which is really very much still a capital of business in Africa. Then we go off to Nairobi in Kenya, where we look at a lot of innovative changes that are taking place, especially around the connectedness in that market, in that Kenyan market, and followed by Nigeria, or by Lagos, which need I say more, this is really the most vibrant economy on the African continent. 17 million people all bustling around, economic activity. And as we said, or as we know, Nigeria is now the largest economy on the continent.
Okay. So it seems like there's a lot that will be covered in each of the various regions or areas. Contrast between West and East Africa and doing business in those regions. But what are some of the specific themes that will be covered on this program?
Well, what we've done over the last 4 years, and each year we update the themes. We select a number of thematic areas relevant to business that are pertinent to those practitioners venturing forth across the continent. This year we have selected a number of them, and just looking at this, we're looking at integration, connectedness, which I mentioned before, which brings to the fore economies of scale and the relevance of building these economies of scale on the continent. We're also looking at regulation and governance. These are very, very important themes for business practitioners and individuals expanding across the continent. And as we know, the environment is highly granular. Each country, each location is very different from the other. And so we're looking at these in a very, very contextual environment, which is why we actually go off to these cities around the continent and look at them in that context. We're also looking at some of the big companies that are starting to emerge from Kenya and Nigeria. Apart from South Africa now has 17 or 18 of the largest companies in Africa. They are based in South Africa, but the other 2 or 3, or now maybe in the next few years, 4 or 5 will come predominantly from Kenya and Nigeria. And we visit those companies and we see what makes them different to our companies. What are their practices and what are their ambitions, and how they see the African market as they start expanding beyond their own borders.
So previous delegates that have gone on to this program, what are 1 or 2 key benefits that they found by attending this program?
Well, first of all, we provide them with an opportunity to explore the African markets, or to explore the African continent, and especially the Kenyan market and Nigerian market, with a group of other senior management or executives, which is always hugely valuable because of the education or because of the learning experience that they have together. We identify a number of the important thematic areas, as we mentioned. We visit some of the companies, but very importantly, it's a great networking opportunity, and it's a great experience for people to share their own experiences and their own insights. I've found, after running this program now for the last 4 years, that delegates actually learn more from each other in those markets and from the people that they meet or that we expose them to in those markets than sitting in a classroom here in Ilova.
So in normal day-to-day business, we all get opportunities to travel. Most of us have had the opportunity to travel in Africa. Why would I want to travel with the Business of Africa program to Kenya and Nigeria rather than traveling on my own?
Well, this provides you with a very structured program that you come away with key learnings. At the same time, we introduce you to new companies and new individuals that are in these markets. I think that in itself is enormously valuable. And then following this and following the Business of Africa, you have built up such a strong network of individuals that went on the program with you, or that were delegates with you on that program, but you become part of the Business of Africa alumni, and we continue communicating with you in years to come. So there's a long-term benefit from this as well, and hopefully we'll even draw back some of the others from previous years to go on some similar programs and to share these experiences in some of the workshops and roundtables that we host here at GIBS.
Okay, so Lyle, what I'm hearing is that there's great networking opportunities. There's an opportunity to be exposed to people that you wouldn't necessarily see if you go to these destinations on your own. It's also an opportunity to learn about not what to do, but how to do business in these countries. So thank you very much for joining us. We wish you all the best for the program that's launching in June.
Thank you very much, Tanya.